Hi, my name is Peter, and for my informative speech, I'm going to talk about gene editing and how that can raise potential ethical issues, financial disparities, and health risks. So, gene editing needs to be regulated more carefully because the rise of concerns and the risks these procedures have will affect people around us. And for gene editing is a modification of an organism's DNA, which involves the addition, deletion, or replacement of the genetic sequence. And despite the high technology and transformative technology, gene editing could provide a negative. Gene editing is something that needs to be controlled, and the negative outweighs the positive with the ethical, societal, and safety concerns that come with this technology. So the first main point is the ethical issues of gene editing, and the ethical issues surrounding gene editing can raise concern for potential misuse and unintended consequences, which raise the question about moral boundaries. So gene editing on embryos are unethical, and the risk the person of consent puts on the embryos is too high a risk to take. And editing the embryos violates the principle of informed consent because the embryos cannot make any consent because they're not living yet. So, in the article by David Shaw, these people in China did gene editing on these embryos, and lots of risks and health issues occurred. And the mistake that these doctors made on the babies will affect them for the rest of their lives because there were no ethical boundaries set by anyone on the embryos. So the next concern is the financial disparities in gene editing, and the rise of gene editing poses an issue of only certain groups of people able to access this technology, and the unequal access to this will cause geographical disparities because there will be a regional imbalance in healthcare, and the less prosperous areas will be discriminated. Also, gene editing only available to high class people will cause an even bigger gap in the inequality gap, and the limitations and unequal access in gene editing causes will need to be addressed. And this disparity that gene editing causes is another reason that gene editing would not be beneficial for anyone, and a negative impact outweighs the positive. And the last topic is how the gene editing raises health issues, and online people can buy gene editing kits with kits that are like you can edit your gene like at home, which is dangerous because people they're not professionals at gene editing, they don't know what they're doing, so that can become a health risk for people. And the availability of these kits to amateur scientists or regular people should be regulated because there's no knowledge on genetic engineering, and they should not be doing this experiment on their own body. So that is why gene editing should be regulated, and there shouldn't be any procedures happening without any technology.